and welcome. You're watching Buy Now, Sell Now on ET Now. I'm Shrishti Sharma and with me as always is Cheryl D'Souza, and this is your show where in the next 1 hour we'll be taking up all your stock queries. So viewers, get ready. But before coming to that, let's have a look at what the markets are up to. So Cheryl, it seems like a positive Tuesday for the markets. Yet again, at record high levels for the Bank Nifty and the broader markets picture also looking nice, right?
Absolutely. But yes, for now we are trading with subdued gains, about 0.3% gains coming in for the benchmark indices. And like Shrishti mentioned, you had Nifty Bank that hit record high levels once again. Talking about the gainers on the Nifty at this juncture, you have IndusInd Bank, Bajaj Finance that are actually seeing good gains coming in, upwards of about 1.5%. You have Mahindra also that are seeing good gains. So is HCL Tech, Ultratech Cement as well. But on the losing side, you only have a handful of losers who are trading with mild declines, not a huge cut. None of them are actually declining about 1% or so. So the top loser right now is Apollo Hospitals, 0.9% cut coming in for Apollo Hospitals. Followed by you have UPL, you have JSW Steel that are seeing some sort of cuts. Also you have BPCL that's under pressure in today's trading session. As of now, if you look at the advance decline ratio, it is still tilted in the favor of the advances. So for now, we are hoping that this sort of this sort of gains should continue through the course of the day. Talking about the sectoral indices, you have Realty Index that is actually the top sectoral loser at this juncture, 0.5% downtick coming in for the Realty Index, followed by FMCG Index as well as Metal Index that are seeing some sort of cuts in trade today. But PSU Bank Index once again ruling the charts, 1.5% uptick coming in for the PSU banks. Once again, you have Auto Index also that is seeing good strength in trade. And IT also is actually seeing some sort of a rebound in trade today. So it's a good gains coming in for the PSU Bank Index as we speak once again. But you know, all eyes today will be on the auto sector, especially Tata Motors for the matter of fact, isn't it, Shrishti?
Well, yes, absolutely, Cheryl. Good news coming in for Tata Motors, and actually it's an ET Now news break confirmed where Tata Motors board panel has approved an in-principle plan for its subsidiaries Tata Technologies IPO. Now, Tata Motors is exploring a partial divestment in Tata Technologies, and this time around, let's have a look at what our managing editor Nikunj Dalmia has to say on this.
IPO coming from the Tatas, yeah, unheard of, but yes, this is evident. So in terms of a news headline, look, this is going to be a Tata Group company which goes public after TCS, and in last couple of years, we've seen a massive re-rating in the Tata Group of stocks. So needless to say, this will see a huge amount of investor response. That is Tata Tech here. Now, what it means for Tata Motors. Tata Motors has given an indication that they will do whatever it takes to make sure that by FY25 they are cash flow positive and they are net debt. The JLR business, given what's happened in the world, has not really taken off. But Tata Motors has unlocked value. They've unlocked value by that EV deal in the car business, passenger car business. And now this could be second stage of unlocking. This is not a very large IPO, and this is not going to move needle for Tata Motors per se. Tata Motors, if you look at the sum of the part, which is the JLR business, the CV business, the passenger car business, and the Tata Technology business, the sum of part value is about 15 to 25 rupees, depending on the brokerage you are looking at and depending on your estimate. So it's not a large needle moving event like what we saw with the EV deal, what happened to the passenger car business, but incrementally just endorses the management's intent to deleverage the balance sheet, bring debt down, and perhaps start unlocking valuations to ensure that they are able to meet their path to deleverage its balance sheet. So headline news, intent of the management, but it's not like the stock is going to be up 10% because of this.
Yeah. Well, that's the editor take coming in on Tata Motors, and exactly what he was mentioning, that it's not such a news that the stock will be up 10%, but a positive indeed, and the stock is up around 1.3%. Let's carry the discussion forward, how big this news is for Tata Group as well as Tata Motors specifically, and for that we are being joined by our panel. Mr. Kunal Bothra joining us from studios, as well as we also have Rajesh Agrawal on the fundamental side. Rajesh, firstly, let me come to you. we have been discussing about Tata Motors, and even that SOTP valuation just come around 15 to 20 odd rupees per share. But how do you see it on a longer term perspective? Because this is next step, I would say, Tata Motors has taken when it comes to the value unlocking. Nikunj did touch upon how value unlocking was done in their EV business. How do you take it up, and what kind of a stock reaction is expected going ahead?
Good morning, Cheryl. Good morning, Shruti. Good morning, Kunal. You said it right. Tata Motors, Tata Technologies is coming. Tata Group is coming out with an issue almost 19 years after their last issue of TCS. Although this is a good company, Tata Technologies, I'm talking about, it's a product engineering and digital service company, and with the demand accelerating from the aerospace business and even electrical vehicles, I think the business of Tata Technologies is doing very well. Even in FY22 revenues, if so, the revenues went up by around 47%. But as far as it's going, the IPO going to help Tata Motors in the short term, I am very skeptical, because it's not a very huge issue, as Nikunj was pointing out, that it won't move a little towards that. But it clearly shows the intent of the management, which has clearly said that by FY25, they are going to be net debt free. So first the EV deal, now this IPO shows the increases the investor confidence in the management that okay, they are going to reduce the debt. This issue might come in the next year, FY20 calendar year 23, I would say, but it may not be a very big thing for Tata Motors as such in this point of time. But going forward, I think the intent of the management is very clear, and it is going to increase investor confidence, and that's going to help Tata Motors in the longer term. If somebody thinking that in a very short term Tata Motors is going to go up by 10-20%, I think that's a far-fetched thing. So on a dips, I can say that one can accumulate Tata Motors, but not at this point of time.
Right. Would advise accumulating Tata Motors, but not at this point in time, is what Rajesh has to say. A very good morning to you, Rajesh. A very good morning to you as well, Kunal. And do you concur with what Rajesh has to say with regards to Tata Motors? It has been one of your top favorites, but do you think now is not the right time to accumulate Tata Motors? How is it looking on the charts to you?
Good morning, Cheryl. Good morning, Srishti and Rajesh as well. Now, my belief is, I think we've been standing on rooftops and talking about ITC, but then this time around I would probably differ in terms of the view. My belief is that I'm extremely bullish on Tata Motors. Now, the auto pack is going through a bit of a mixed reaction from the sector front, because you have the likes of Escorts, M&M, which have been doing exceptionally well. Tata Motors has somehow lagged behind. But then when I look at this from the 2020 lows, I think Tata Motors has done exceptionally well. A stock which was just, I think, 64, 65 rupees, jumped up to as much as 550 plus, and now it's going through a time-wise correction. So after an 8x, 9x kind of a return, it's bound to be that the stock goes into a time-wise correction, and that's what we are facing right now. Now, for a trader who's looking out for short-term returns, of course, he may not be, in for making quicker bucks. But then for someone who has a time frame of at least a couple of years or more, I think buying at current levels, and in case if the stock dips towards the 380 mark, those are classical points to buy Tata Motors. So I would maintain that extremely strong bullish stance from a longer-term play on Tata Motors.
So Kunal is extremely bullish on Tata Motors, and especially if it comes to 380 price or levels, that will be your go-to moment for Tata Motors. That's the advice coming in. But it is time to slip into a short break, viewers, but don't go anywhere, because coming right back, we'll be taking up your stock queries.
को पावर।
No, beautiful question. Yeah, I can tell you, we believe that we'll be able to reduce costs.
ET is one of my favorites in the world. I'm a fan.
This is a very insightful question that you're asking, Nikunj, and almost seems like you were listening in on the deliberation the committee was doing. And you're absolutely right.
But if this cup of coffee is costing you 25 rupees right now, after 5 years, it may cost you 100 rupees. Predicting the market or predicting the short-term move in the market, well, that's always very easy. Predicting it right and making money, it's not impossible. It could be a challenge. With each passing day, this market is becoming better, and with each passing day, this market is only telling you that if you've participated on every decline, you've actually made money.
ITC's credo is nation first, sab saath bade. I would like to live this philosophy in whatever business we do.
We continue to be very well diversified across product lines. The general health of the company continues to be very strong.
We are a publicly listed company. We have access to capital. We have great brands.
No, beautiful question. Yeah, I can tell you, we believe that we'll be able to reduce costs.
ET is one of my favorites in the world. I'm a fan.
This is a very insightful question that you're asking, Nikunj, and almost seems like you were listening in on the deliberation the committee was doing. And you're absolutely right.
But if this cup of coffee is costing you 25 rupees right now, after 5 years, it may cost you 100 rupees. Predicting the market or predicting the short-term move in the market, well, that's always very easy. Predicting it right and making money, it's not impossible. It could be a challenge. With each passing day, this market is becoming better, and with each passing day, this market is only telling you that if you've participated on every decline, you've actually made money.
ITC's credo is nation first, sab saath bade. I would like to live this philosophy in whatever business we do.
We continue to be very well diversified across product lines. The general health of the company continues to be very strong.
We are a publicly listed company. We have access to capital. We have great brands.
No, beautiful question. Yeah, I can tell you, we believe that we'll be able to reduce costs.
गोल्ड लोन मेला, गोल्ड लोन लेने पर पाए सुनहरा मौका कपल्स के लिए फॉरेन ट्रिप जीतने का और साथ ही जीते कई आकर्षक इनाम। यही नहीं, हर ट्रांजैक्शन पर होगा 24 कैरेट गोल्ड आपके नाम। अपने फ्रेंड्स और फैमिली को रेफर करने पर भी मिलेगा खरा सोना। गोल्ड लोन लेने के लिए आज ही मुथूट फाइनेंस की ब्रांच में आए या फिर घर बैठे बैठे गोल्ड लोन पाए। आज ही कॉल करें 1800-313-1212। Welcome back. You're watching Buy Now Sell Now on ET Now. Let's just take cognizance of the flash on the bottom of the screen. You have Piyush Goyal, Union Minister Piyush Goyal, saying and stating that Defence Minister will be making a statement in the Parliament at 12:30 p.m. Remember that earlier in the day we had news flows come in that the Defence Minister has actually had that emergency meeting, but we will have his statement in Rajya Sabha at 12:30 p.m. So all eyes on that particular statement from the Defence Minister. But let's move on, and before we kickstart kickstart with taking the stock-related queries. Rajesh, let me come to you and let's ask the most pertinent question. What should retail investors do right now, given the fact the way how the markets are performing? They're just chilling in this month of December, looks like it, taking it very easy, except Nifty Bank, which has scaled a record high once again. What would your advice be for the investors? How should they actually keep their wealth intact?
Cheryl, the most important point I would like to state is that the biggest risk in market is not taking any risk, not being into the market. You have to start somewhere to reach your goals. Most of the time, I come across investors, they say when it will fall, they will buy. Jab girega, tab lenge. But let me tell you, no one has the guts to buy when markets fall. Everybody thinks that it will be lower the next day. So it's better to not to time your investments. Buy when you have liquid funds, when you are convinced with the investments you are making, when you have done full research. Uh, you will witness that when there is a sale on Amazon or Flipkart or Snapdeal of that like, there are a lot of people buying unnecessary things on credit card. But when there is a sale in stock market, when the markets are falling, nobody ventures out to buy. And that's a very wrong kind of strategy to adopt. So what I would like to say, if you are convinced with the stock, don't time the market. Go ahead and buy. If you have an investment horizon for 6 to 12 months or maybe higher, if you're trading, that's another thing altogether. But if you are an investor, don't be outside the market. You have to be in the market to make good returns.
Okay, so that's the advice coming in for all our viewers, that you have to enter the markets to have good returns. You can't be staying out and expecting good returns out of your investments. But let's move on and kickstart your query section. The first query coming in from Santosh, and let me take it up from you, Kunal. Santosh wants to know, is this a good time to initiate fresh buys in Delta Corp or DLF rather? Because just yesterday we were discussing about the aviation travel theme and all. It is the kind that people are not going to casinos this holiday. What do you think, that is this the stock is not started reflecting yet?
Well, yeah, I think casinos could be in for maybe the year end, but then Delta Corp I think has been mired by a lot of issues in terms of the technicals now. And I remember clearly, I think last or the end of the previous month expiry, the November expiry, when the stock was almost at 230 odd levels, it had come into the F&O ban. So, and I think post that there was twice the stock had come into the F&O ban, and that's one of the reasons why the stock has been unable to break past about the 235 mark very convincingly. So one, is that the stock has to break past about the 235 levels for you if you're looking to buy. As well, you want the stock to not be in the F&O ban. So if we happen to see both the criterias fulfilled for Delta Corp, then it makes a reasonable buy at higher levels. Or else, if you're looking out for a minor support point, then maybe 218 mark or 216 mark is a very good zone where you can look to go for a contra buy on Delta Corp.
Okay, let me take this query to you, Rajesh. This one has come from Prashant and also from Saumitra. So let me ask you both of their queries. Prashant is writing to us from Bangalore. He would want a fundamental view on Laurus Labs. He's saying that he's holding about 100 shares at a price of around 506 rupees per share. He wants to know, is it a buy on dips for the long term? He's also asking, is the concern in the stock, is it because of the less promoter percentage? This is Prashant's query. You also have Saumitra also who's asking about the same thing, and Saumitra is saying that he wants to know if it can be shorted further, or now is it time to cut positions and wait to add. Pharma and allied sectors, according to him, are weird. So he wants to know your fundamental view on Laurus Labs, because he's also accumulated these counters a short while ago, is what he's saying.
As far as my understanding goes, whatever negatives were there for Laurus Lab or for that matter any API manufacturer as such has already been discounted in the prices. Laurus Lab, if I'm not wrong, it has corrected from almost 700, 800 odd rupees to 400 rupees. That's almost 50% cut from their highs. They are going to launch some new products. They are moving into new territories. Expansion has been complete. And I think somebody holding for a period of 9 to 12 months can easily get a price of 450, 480 odd levels from the current levels. But one has to be patient and continue with its holding. As far as adding at this point of time, I think one should wait for the numbers to start coming in maybe in the next quarter or so. Then one can think of adding. But somebody holding the stock can continue to hold.
Okay, that's the take coming in on Laurus Lab when it comes to the fundamental side of it. But just a quick follow-up from you, Kunal. What is your take? Because Harish wants to know whether is this time to like book losses in Laurus Lab because he's currently holding the shares from a price of 470, or rather he should now look to switch to JB Chemicals. What will be your suggestion?
So on Laurus Labs, I would not be extremely bullish on the stock. In fact, my view has been over the last many months is that the stock has shown a considerable sign of weakness. And for me, it's not a surprise that the stock is underperforming and still going into a downward trend. In fact, even if you do a very simple comparison between Laurus Labs, Dr. Lalpath, Metropolis, etc., the stock has been a clear underperformer with respect to even the peers. For the group. So I think even in that aspect, it's a stock which I would believe would continue to underperform. I would suggest that even if you bought at 470 levels, you're facing some 10-15% kind of a loss. It's a good time to try and exit the stock, or maybe wait for minor rallies to try and get out of the stock. JB Chemicals, I'm not sure, but then if you're looking at some other pharma name, then I believe Jubilant Ingrevia could be an interesting pick from current levels. I think that stock is also trying to show signs of bottoming out. And from the other mid-cap pharma pack, Zydus Life, somewhere which is closer to 400 levels, even that's a very attractive bet from a technical perspective.
Right, I stand corrected with Saumitra's question on this. Kunal, just quickly, he's saying that he's asking if it can further be shorted, Laurus Labs, or now is it time to cut positions and wait to add?
See, the only concern with fresh shorting is the indicators are oversold. So you may probably get a minor bounce of maybe a few percentage points on Laurus Labs, and post that is where the stock would get into a corrective phase back again. So not a best time to initiate fresh shots, but wait for a minor bounce, and that's where you can initiate fresh shots.
Okay, so that's the take coming in from both of our experts on Laurus Lab. Quite exhaustive discussion looks like we had on this one. Mukil has written to us, Kunal, and firstly he is actually telling you thank you very much for all your efforts. This is what Mukil has written to us from Bangalore, and also he's saying that as per your view, he's bought Reddington 2000 shares at a price of around 155 rupees per share. He's asking whether he should hold or book profits.
So thank you so much for that. And I think, or Reddington, I think it's a good time you should book out profits over here, because 200-ish is where I'd expected the stock to settle into a range. The stock hit that 200 mark yesterday, or just about the 200 levels yesterday. So I think it's a good time. You're making some 20%, 25% plus kind of a profit on your investments from 150 approximately. So I think it's a good time to book out profits over here and look to buy some other, mid-cap or small-cap names if you are looking to, take some additional bets on the short-term trading time frame.
Okay, moving on. The next query coming in from R. Khere, and Rajesh, he's a long-term investor, but he's looking to invest in PSU banks and railway stocks. But after such a great run-up in both of these sectors and stocks, will that be advisable to enter into fresh longs at these prices? And specifically wants to know the take on United Bank of India and Union Bank of India.
See, let me take one by one. PSU banks, yes, they still look attractive because of the kind of growth they are witnessing, the kind of balance sheet cleaning they have done. Asset quality has become better from what it was a few years back. And the kind of valuation gap between PSU and private sector banks. But as far as stocks are concerned, I would say you have to be very choosy, because we have seen very smaller names moving up by 70-80%, and that's becoming risky. You have to be either into SBI, Bank of Baroda, Canara Bank, or Bank of India. These are the 4 PSU banks which we are bullish on. And as far as the railway stocks are concerned, they tend to move very swiftly prior to budget, and after the budget, they go on a cooling off period. I think they have run up quite a lot. For investment purpose, waiting for some time before investing would be a better idea. But for trading, there are a lot of opportunities. Out of the railway pack, I think IRCTC, one stock which has not moved up in the recent past, the valuations are attractive, and the other one would be Titagarh Wagons, that's TWL Limited. They have got good order book, they have gone for an expansion, and that can be a good buy, but not at this point of time. Maybe 180, 190 odd levels would be a better place to buy.
All right, let's move on and let me take the next query. This one is coming in from Nino. This one is also for you, Rajesh, and he wants a view on Uniparts India, the one that got listed this week itself. How does it look for long-term investing? Have you taken a look at this particular company?
See, for longer term horizon, the fundamentals are good. It has not given good listing gains. I agree. Yesterday it was a muted listing, but I think for a longer term horizon, maybe a price of 650, 680 odd levels in the next 1 year is quite possible. One can continue to hold.
With this, viewers, it's time to slip into a short break, but don't go anywhere. We'll be right back and taking up more of your stock queries.
मुथूट फाइनेंस पेश करते हैं गोल्ड लोन मेला। गोल्ड लोन लेने पर पाए सुनहरा मौका कपल्स के लिए फॉरेन ट्रिप जीतने का और साथ में जीते कई आकर्षक इनाम। यही नहीं, हर ट्रांजैक्शन पर होगा 24 कैरेट गोल्ड आपके नाम। अपने फ्रेंड्स और फैमिली को रेफर करने पर भी मिलेगा खरा सोना। गोल्ड लोन लेने के लिए आज ही मुथूट फाइनेंस की ब्रांच में आए या फिर घर बैठे बैठे गोल्ड लोन पाए। आज ही कॉल करें 1800-313-1212।
आग को फैलने से रोकना मुश्किल है।
ET is one of my favorites in the world. I'm a fan.
This is a very insightful question that you're asking, Nikunj, and almost seems like you were listening in on the deliberation the committee was doing. And you're absolutely right.
But if this cup of coffee is costing you 25 rupees right now, after 5 years, it may cost you 100 rupees. Predicting the market or predicting the short-term move in the market, well, that's always very easy. Predicting it right and making money, it's not impossible. It could be a challenge. With each passing day, this market is becoming better, and with each passing day, this market is only telling you that if you've participated on every decline, you've actually made money.
ITC's credo is nation first, sab saath bade. I would like to live this philosophy in whatever business we do.
We continue to be very well diversified across product lines. The general health of the company continues to be very strong.
We are a publicly listed company. We have access to capital. We have great brands.
No, beautiful question. Yeah, I can tell you, we believe that we'll be able to reduce costs.
ET is one of my favorites in the world. I'm a fan.
This is a very insightful question that you're asking, Nikunj, and almost seems like you were listening in on the deliberation the committee was doing. And you're absolutely right.
But if this cup of coffee is costing you 25 rupees right now, after 5 years, it may cost you 100 rupees. Predicting the market or predicting the short-term move in the market, well, that's always very easy. Predicting it right and making money, it's not impossible. It could be a challenge. With each passing day, this market is becoming better, and with each passing day, this market is only telling you that if you've participated on every decline, you've actually made money.
ITC's credo is nation first, sab saath bade. I would like to live this philosophy in whatever business we do.
We continue to be very well diversified across product lines. The general health of the company continues to be very strong.
We are a publicly listed company. We have access to capital. We have great brands.
No, beautiful question. Yeah, I can tell you, we believe that we'll be
Welcome back to Buy Now, Sell Now, and let's once again get to your stock queries. And the next question coming in from Padma Sivrao from Bangalore, and Rajesh, he wants to know whether it's a good time to enter Escorts Kubota for the next 3 years. What will be your take on that?
Of course, it's a good buy, I would say. If you look at valuations, they are okay. The prospects have been good. Rural economy is going to do well in the next 2-3 years. Given the elections in FY24, I think government's focus in this budget would be into rural. That will give impetus to Escorts, which is a big player into tractors. And with the entry of Kubota, the prospects have become even brighter. I think it's a good buy. For next 1.5 year, we have a target of 2,700 rupees in this. But for longer term horizon, the targets can be revised based on the performance that comes every quarter.
All right, requesting both of our experts to keep our answers a tad bit brief today because we have a lot of queries piling up. So let me take this one from Devi Das. View on Bharat Forge with a period of 6 months. What should what should Devi do with this one, Kunal?
I would maintain a very strong bullish stance for Bharat Forge. I think at 880 levels, it's a very attractive buy. The stock has confirmed a big breakout on short term as well as on the longer term charts. So from a 6 months perspective, I would probably suggest a target of 950 to 960 for Bharat Forge approximately. I would suggest a buy or a hold.
Okay, the next query coming in from Swati and Rajesh. Swati must be holding some blue chip IT stocks, and she wants to know whether it's a time to reduce the exposure out there and increase the exposure in blue chip private sector banks. If yes, then what will be your recommendations?
Both are good enough. It depends on what kind of stocks you are holding. If it's a blue chip IT stock, I believe it may be Infosys, TCS, or Tech Mahindra, that sort of thing. There are hiccups in the short term, but longer term is good. Even if you have extra money, you can put in private sector banks, out of which whereby I would recommend ICICI Bank, Kotak Mahindra, or IndusInd Bank.
Coming from Sri Kutan and holding Cummins India at a level of around 1,197 rupees per share. Would like to add some more quantity. So Kunal wants to know what should the strategy be? Buy at current levels, buy on dips, or exit and then re-enter. So he's looking to hold at least for 2 to 3 years. But what sort of strategy should he apply right now?
So I would suggest to hold on. I mean, if you have already bought, then you can look to book profits over here and look to buy back again on the lower side. I think 2 days back also I had mentioned this, that Cummins India is going through a very strong period of an uptrend, but then the stock has also come back into an overbought territory of an uptrend. There's bound to be some bit of a cool off from those levels of I think 1550 approximately. The stock has already cooled off another 50 rupees. Possibly it can cool off another 50 rupees on the downside. So if you're looking to buy back again, 1440, 1450 could be a level where you can look to reinitiate a buy.
Okay, the next query coming in from Abhishek, and Kunal, he's a long-term investor and wants to know the take on TTK Prestige and Sheila Foam. On the consumer space, or on a YTD basis, both stocks are down 20%. He wants to know a good entry point on both of these.
See, I don't track these stocks that often, but then even on the charts, TTK Prestige and Sheila Foam, they are not very attractive in terms of the setup of price charts, whether it's volumes as well. I'm not sure what's the specific reason that you are looking to buy these stocks even at current levels, but purely on the chart basis, I would suggest an avoid on both of these names.
Okay, this one is coming from Akash and he wants to know about ICICI. He wants to know about financial portfolio. So he has already ICICI Bank and IDFC First Bank. Both of them he has in his portfolio. He wants to know whether he should add some more of these or some other financial stock and forget about it. What's your take on this one? Rajesh, stay put with ICICI Bank, IDFC First?
See, stay put with ICICI Bank, I agree. But IDFC Bank, although the numbers have been improving in the recent past, I don't think very big upsides coming in the near future. Maybe 65, 70 odd levels would be there in the next 2 quarters or so. But that it's not that attractive. I would say if you have a longer term horizon, go for Bajaj Finserv. That's a holding company of Bajaj Finance, and the insurance venture is doing very well.
Okay, the next query coming in from Vicky, and Kunal, Vicky is having 17% gains in Saxoft. All the IT counters are not finding themselves ground in maybe today and yesterday as well. We have seen that. But what will be your take on Saxoft?
So I think it's an interesting chart, Saxoft. We don't discuss of the stock that often, but then last, I think 2 years from the 2020 lows, it's done reasonably well. Even this stock had corrected from the 2021 highs from 116. If I'm not wrong, the stock corrected to as much as 68, but now it's made a come back towards the life highs or crossed about the life high level. So, which means it's a very strong chart. The only concern now is that if the IT stocks and a sector overall gets into a consolidation, even Saxoft can probably come back towards that 115 mark or maybe slightly below that. So, a better level, a better trade over here is to try and book out profits, look to buy back again if the IT stocks and the consolidation re-begins, and then try and take advantage of this short-term corrections and try and look at it from a trading perspective as well.
Okay, Kunal, KR Balan has Bank of Maharashtra, Indian Bank, PNB, Bank of Baroda, all of them in his portfolio, making 20 plus profit on his holding. Now he wants to know whether he should book profits and look to shift to Infosys or SBI, or just book profits and sit on the cash.
No, I think you should continue to hold on. Now, only concern over here, or the only thing which you need to look out for is what's your time frame and how much is the risk appetite which you are looking to hold on, with these stocks, because there are bound to be a phase where these stocks would also go into a corrective phase. So, if you are looking in for that quick entry, quick profit, then a 20% plus return is a good enough return. But then, if your time frame is 2 years, 3 years, or more than that, then I believe it makes a lot of sense to hold these kind of stocks and back these stocks even on a corrective phase where you can look to average them as well.
Okay, the next query coming in from Captain Ram Rao, and Rajesh, he is holding 1700 shares of HCC, and this stock is up 72% in the past 6 months. What's your take on that? What's happening? And in the next 5 to 6 months, what will be the outlook?
Setting on a profit, one should book out. The fundamentals are not that great. There have been some resolutions in the recent past, but just going off the fundamental figures, I don't think any reasons to be in this stock. And if you're setting on a profit, it's safer to book profits.
This has come from Vimla George. Kunal, 1,000 shares of LIC at 695 rupees per share. Good idea to sell at current levels and re-enter some other stocks, and if yes, then which other stock?
No, I think you can. You can do the first part, where you can look to book out profits over here. But then I would suggest that you can look to rebuy this stock as well at lower levels, because LIC India over the last 3-4 months had not formed a higher high, higher low pattern. So 684 was the previous breakout for LIC India. The stock has confirmed a breakout above those levels, which means it's restarting an uptrend for itself. Now you can try and take advantage where maybe the stock is at an overbought territory, look to book out profits at 710, 711 where it's trading, but then look to buy back again maybe closer to 680 mark if it happens to correct to those levels.
Okay, the next query taking from Sunny, and Rajesh, he is holding 100 shares of Latent View Technology from a price of 372. The stock is down 20 rupees from those levels. What will be your advice? Good time to average out?
Which stock you said?
Latent View.
Hello?
Yeah, Rajesh, it's Latent View, one of the recent listing.
Okay. Yeah, one can hold on to the stock. It's just it's 20 rupees down from your purchase price, but the longer term horizon looks good. You increase your time horizon for 2 quarters, I think 390, 400 is quite possible. Continue holding.
Right, on that note, let's quickly slip into a break on this edition of Buy Now Sell Now. When we come back, we will continue to ask your queries, so hang in the viewers as well as our experts.
To reduce costs.
ET is one of my favorites in the world. I'm a fan.
This is a very insightful question that you're asking, Nikunj, and almost seems like you were listening in on the deliberation the committee was doing. And you're absolutely right.
But if this cup of coffee is costing you 25 rupees right now, after 5 years, it may cost you 100 rupees. Predicting the market or predicting the short-term move in the market, well, that's always very easy. Predicting it right and making money, it's not impossible. It could be a challenge. With each passing day, this market is becoming better, and with each passing day, this market is only telling you that if you participated on every decline, you've actually made money.
ITC's credo is nation first, sab saath bade. I would like to live this philosophy in whatever business we do.
we continue to be very well diversified across product lines. The general health of the company continues to be very strong.
We are a publicly listed company. We have access to capital. We have great brands.
No, beautiful question. Yeah, I can tell you, we believe that we'll be able to reduce costs.
ET is one of my favorites in the world. I'm a fan.
This is a very insightful question that you're asking, Nikunj, and almost seems like you were listening in on the deliberation the committee was doing. And you're absolutely right.
And if this cup of coffee is costing you 25 rupees right now, after 5 years, it may cost you 100 rupees. Predicting the market or predicting the short-term move in the market, well, that's always very easy. Predicting it right and making money, it's not impossible. It could be a challenge. With each passing day, this market is becoming better, and with each passing day, this market is only telling you that if you've participated on every decline, you've actually made money.
ITC's credo is nation first, sab saath bade. I would like to live this philosophy.
Welcome back. You're watching Buy Now, Sell Now on ET Now, and let me continue actually with the queries very quickly. And this one is coming in from TP Vinod. And Kunal, this one is for you. Looking for a short-term target for GMM Fodler. He already has 50 shares at a price of 1,890.
So I would believe that you can hold on to the stock. It's a less or a slight illiquid stock. Average volumes of 20-25,000 only. But then the stock charts are very, very attractive from a medium to long-term play. Even if the stock consolidates, you should try and take advantage of that consolidation and look to average and build more quantity. So I would suggest to buy or average.
Okay, the next query coming in from Sandeep and Rajesh. He is holding AGS Transact Technologies from a price of 114, and post-listing the stock is down 60%. What to do now?
Whatever positives has already been discounted in the price, it's better to book profit, and maybe after some time when it falls to 300 odd levels, you can re-enter.
This one's come from Jai Krishnan. Kunal, I know that you're not that much of a football fan, but Jai Krishnan wants to know, please suggest a stock to buy now in Ishan Kishan mode. So I know you follow cricket very well.
So, okay, buying a stock, I mean, in the sense, recommending a stock from current levels, I would still suggest that you go with slight high beta names over here, not the usual large cap stocks, because my belief is that the mid caps can stand to outperform. And one of the stocks which I would recommend at current levels would be MCX. I'm extremely bullish on the bullions, both gold and silver, and my belief is that MCX, which is one of the dominant exchange over here, should do exceptionally well. Even on the charts front, the stock has given a big breakout about the 1580, 1585 mark. So would suggest this as a buy, and possibly if this gold rally continues, you can probably expect MCX to deliver returns somewhere in the tune of 10 to 15% over the near term.
Okay, but what's your take, Kunal, on IEX? Tara and even Prakash are holding IEX from levels of around 200 to 250. These are the buying prices of both of these viewers.
So I think over the last many months, I've been advocating that you have to wait not to average IEX because the stock was expected to correct a bit more. Now, what has happened is in the last few weeks, the correction has halted for IEX. The stock has somehow established a base at the 135 odd mark. And now it's making a very gradual kind of a comeback, which means that the stock is now going into the second phase. From a phase of falling, the stock is now getting to a phase of consolidation, which will eventually lead into a third phase of a rally or a rise of uptrend again for IEX. So it's a good time where you should start accumulating IEX back again, lower your average cost and try and bring it down to maybe as close to 170, 175.
Okay, there's Rajesh's namesake who's asked for a query, but this one is from Kunal. This is Rajesh from Indore who's written to us, wants to know about data patterns, whether it's a good one to invest and at what levels to enter for a period of about 6 to 12 months, Kunal.
So I think current levels is good enough. 1270 approximately is where the stock is trading right now. It's also into a near-term base support for data patterns, even though the chart history is not that much. But then the last 2-3 months, the stock has been into a very attractive kind of an uptrend. So minor corrections should be taken as a good opportunity to buy, just like what we are seeing at current levels of 1270 approximately.
Okay, the next query coming in from Prakash, and he wants to know from you, Rajesh, whether it's a good time to what to do, sell or average in Wipro. He's holding from 442 odd levels, and another viewer had a query on HCL Technologies. Good time to enter.
See, I think one should sell Wipro and avoid HCL Tech at this point of time. A better bet would be either Tech Mahindra or Infosys, purely based on valuation parameters. I don't say they are bad companies, but they are on a better footing.
Okay, this one's from Sagar and this one's on Strides Pharma. Kunal, 500 shares at around 350 rupees per share. He's thinking of adding some more of Strides Pharma, about 500 shares, as the stock is sitting at a multi-year support level. Also, risk reward is good, and he believes the turnaround is possible. Is it?
Well, yes, looks like. In fact, the attractive parts for part for Strides on the charts is the weekly chart, where the MACD and the ADX, etc., they are making a comeback again above their neutral line, which means from being an underperforming zone, these stocks have crossed the neutral bar and now probably could be getting into a positive zone for themselves, and that could really kickstart a medium to long-term uptrend. So I would believe that if you bought at 350 levels, you can continue to hold on, and if possible, look to add further.
Okay, Ravi Teja has sent his query, and Kunali is looking for a swing trade for a profit of around 5%. Will Vedanta and SAIL could be the counters where he can get 5% in the short term?
Well, that's too much of a risk. Now you're looking at for 5%, you don't want to risk in terms of a capital. So what matters is the risk-reward ratio over here. And for Vedanta as well as SAIL, I would believe the risk-reward would be as much as 1:1. So you're trying to look out for 5% returns, but you may have to look out for a risk of 5%. So if you're okay with that kind of a risk-reward ratio, then it makes sense to buy these stocks. Otherwise, you should not.
Okay, Manjunath is asking about Ultratech Cement. Rajesh, holding 70 shares at a price of around 3,100 since the last 20 years. The gain is upwards of about 100%. I want to know, can add some more at current price for 3 years or shift to ICICI Bank or SBI? Firstly, I would like to congratulate Manjunath before you do.
See, definitely I would also like to congratulate him and tell all other investors who are watching this that this is what long-term investment does for your portfolio. Yes, it's a very good investment, and we have recommended a buy to our clients also on Ultratech Cement, and somebody looking for a safer side can go for a Grasim, which is a holding company for Ultratech. But we are bullish on cement sector, and out of which we are very bullish on Ultratech Cement. Go for it.
Okay, we're moving on. The next query coming in from Yoga Rani, and Rajesh, she is holding GHCL, the stock which is down around 6% in trade today after reports suggesting that the soda ash prices have now corrected. We are seeing an impact on that, but what will be your advice? Because the buying price is around 200 rupees higher than the current market price.
Continue to hold. The soda price crash is, of course, a matter of concern, no doubt, but going forward, when industries start picking up, capex have been good in domestic market also. I think soda demand is going to go up, which will again help GHCL and other companies which are into this business. So it's better to hold on to this stock.
All right, the next query that I have is coming in from Indumati, wants a technical view on Dabur holding at current levels. Is it expected to consolidate or go for a correction for the next few trading sessions, Kunal?
See, I think the consolidation has already happened. The last 4 days, the stock has filled in a gap which was created at the 593 odd mark for Dabur. So I think with that gap being filled, there could be a high possibility that the stock can restart an uptrend. So my belief is that possibly the consolidation is over and the stock may rebound from current levels.
Okay, the next query coming in from Kishore Bajaj, and Kunal, he is holding 400 shares of IndusInd Bank from a price of 1,700. Should book losses or hold on to this counter?
I'm extremely bullish on IndusInd Bank. I think I've voiced this opinion for the stock since the last 3-4 months. What you should ideally do is, the correction, for example, like what we saw last month for IndusInd Bank, when the stock came back towards 1120, 1140 mark, that is the kind of a correction which you should try and take advantage of and lower your cost price as much as possible. Maybe if your cost price can come back towards 1400 plus mark, then there is a much higher chance that you can get into that break even pretty quickly, start of 2023.
Okay, Kunal, Sarika wants to know about Eicher Motors December target price.
So, I think short-term wise, I would expect maybe a 3,450 to 500 as a best possible target for Eicher Motors. But then you also have to look at it in this manner that if the auto pack rally starts off led by the likes of M&M, Maruti, etc., then the return potential could be much more higher. So as of now, keep your targets conservative, 3,450 approximately to 500.
Okay, Kunal, once again, the next query coming your way. Sandeep wants to know the technical take on Titan, Grasim and Kotak Bank for a short-term perspective. What will be your advice?
So Grasim, I would be particularly very bullish on. Titan and Kotak Bank, I would suggest an avoid at current levels purely because these stocks are consolidating. Grasim, because the entire cement pack, etc., is doing quite well. I would believe that at current levels of 1800 approximately is a good bet for a swing trade of 5%.
All right, with that, let's kickstart with the rapid fire then. The first one is coming your way, Rajesh. Sonali has written to us, Grindwell Norton, a good bet for the long term. If yes, any entry point that you can suggest?
You can buy around 1900 odd rupees.
Okay, so Sheel wants to know from you, Kunal, bought Indiabulls Housing Finance at a price of 158. What will be the outlook for the next 1 or 2 quarters?
I would suggest to exit and let the stock come back to your cost price or closer to your cost price. Good time to exit.
All right, this one's from Ramesh. Shall I enter Yes Bank now, Kunal?
Buy on dips is a better strategy for Yes Bank.
Okay, the next query coming in from Akash and Rajesh, what will be your take on Aegis Logistics? He's holding it from 290 odd levels.
Book profit.
Okay, Padma Balan has 500 shares of BSC, saying it is very stagnant or at least seeing a loss for the next 1 year. Should hold or shift to LIC or Axis Bank, Kunal?
I think you should continue to hold on.
Okay, Manju wants to know from you, Rajesh. She has bought Harrison's Malayalam 250 quantity at a price of 187. What should be the strategy?
Continue to hold, although rubber prices are swinging at antique, but valuations are good.
Okay, Matthew from Kochi has 1,500 shares of NCC at 74 rupees just 4 months ago. Now it has touched 90. So book profits or hold, Kunal?
Hold. I would recommend a hold. My target's closer to 98.
Okay, the next query coming in from Vedanta. The name is quite different. He wants to know take on Hutco. 1200 quantity at a price of 51. He has bought. View for the next 3 months. Rajesh, your advice.
Book profit, move to some other stock because the time horizon is very strong.
Okay, Swayam Chopra has ONGC call option 143 at 3.6. Kunal, what's your view on this one?
You can hold on, but then keep a stop loss of 140 on the spot levels.
Okay, Shankar wants to know from you, Rajesh. He's holding Equitas and he's having 12% of profits out there. What will be the advice?
The first thing you should do is book profit.
All right, before just the timer is ticking, let me take this one. SA is asking about 1200 shares, Welspun India, average price 92, average or sell or hold. Kunal?
I would suggest a hold.
All right, and with that, we actually quickly come to the end of the rapid fire as well as the query segment. Thank you so much, Kunal, as well as Rajesh for joining us on the show, talking about Tata Motors and the Tata Group of companies, as well as resolving our viewer queries. And with that, we completely out of time on this edition of Buy Now Sell Now. It's a goodbye from Srishti, myself, and the team that put the show together. But stay tuned, Markets Noon coming up next.
Do we have to be in whatever business we do? We continue to be very well diversified across product lines. The general health of the company continues to be very strong.
We are a publicly listed company. We have access to capital. We have great brands.
No, beautiful question. Yeah, I can tell you, we believe that we'll be able to reduce costs.
ET is one of my favorites in the world. I'm a fan.
This is a very insightful question that you're asking, Nikunj, and almost seems like you were listening in on the deliberation the committee was doing. And you're absolutely right.
But if this cup of coffee is costing you 25 rupees right now, after 5 years, it may cost you 100 rupees. Predicting the market or predicting the short-term move in the market, well, that's always very easy. Predicting it right and making money, it's not impossible. It could be a challenge. With each passing day, this market is becoming better, and with each passing day, this market is only telling you that if you've participated on every decline, you've actually made money.
ITC's credo is nation first, sab saath bade. I would like to live this philosophy in whatever business we do.
We continue to be very well diversified across product lines. The general health of the company continues to be very strong.
We are a publicly listed company. We have access to capital. We have great brands.
No, beautiful question. Yeah, I can tell you, we believe that we'll be able to reduce costs.
ET is one of my favorites in the world. I'm a fan.
This is a very insightful question that you're asking, Nikunj, and almost seems like you were listening in on the deliberation the committee was doing. And you're absolutely right.
And if this cup of coffee is costing you 25 rupees right now, after 5 years, it may cost you 100 rupees. Predicting the market or predicting the short-term move in the market, well, that's always very easy. Predicting it right and making money, it's not impossible. It could be a challenge. With each passing day, this market is becoming better, and with each passing day, this market is only telling you that if you've participated on every decline, you've actually made money.
ITC's credo is nation first, sab saath bade. I would like to live this philosophy in whatever business we do.
We continue to be very well diversified across product lines. The general health of the company continues to be very strong.
We are a publicly listed company. We have access to capital. We have great brands.
No, beautiful question. Yeah, I can tell you, we believe that we'll be able to reduce costs.
In ET.
Another day of flat trade and markets await FOMC meeting outcome. The Nifty makes an attempt to break above 18,600 level, currently near day's high. PSU banking see continued buying while tech sees slight breather.
Paytm is in good stead as its board is going to meet today to mull a buyback. The company has cash and cash equivalents of over 9,000 crore rupees and is working towards its EBITDA break-even target by next year.
Dalmia Bharat not in that great shape. This is after announcing acquisition of JP's asset worth about 5,500 crores. Tweets with clarity on funding breakup and optionality and capacity expansion. However, JP Morgan believes that the proposed acquisition is attractive in terms of valuation.
After almost 2 decades, the Tata Group is working to launch 2 IPOs, Tata Tech as well as Tata Play. ET now had told you first that Tata Motors was looking to partially sell stake in subsidiary Tata Tech via an IPO.
It's another ET Now news break which got confirmed. Bandhan Bank received claims worth 970 odd crores from government. This is under credit guarantee scheme. Expected to receive the rest by FY24. Claims will be further cushioned to banking earnings.
Mumbai cops put traffic curbs in view of the G20 meet in the city today. 5 roads closed from noon to near midnight. Alternative routes chalked out for South Mumbai.
छुट्टी भी थी 9 दिसंबर 2022 को पीएलए ट्रुप्स ने तवांग सेक्टर के यांगसे एरिया में लाइन ऑफ एक्चुअल कंट्रोल पर अतिक्रमण कर स्टेटस को एक तरफा बदलने का प्रयास किया। चाइना के इस प्रयास का हमारी सेना ने दृढ़ता के साथ सामना किया है अध्यक्ष महोदय, और इस फेस ऑफ में हाथापाई भी हुई है। भारतीय सेना ने बहादुरी से पीएलए को हमारी टेरिटरी में अतिक्रमण करने से रोका और उन्हें उनकी पोस्ट पर वापस जाने के लिए मजबूर कर दिया। अध्यक्ष महोदय, इस झड़प में दोनों ओर के कुछ सैनिकों को चोटें भी आई हैं और मैं इस सदन को अवगत कराना चाहता हूं कि हमारे किसी भी सैनिक की न तो मृत्यु हुई है और न ही कोई गंभीर रूप से घायल हुआ है। इंडियन मिलिट्री कमांडर्स के टाइमली इंटरवेंशन के कारण पीएलए सोल्जर्स अपनी लोकेशंस पर वापस चले गए। अध्यक्ष महोदय, और इस घटना के पश्चात एरिया के लोकल कमांडर ने 11 दिसंबर 2022 को अपने चाइनीज काउंटर पार्ट के साथ स्थापित व्यवस्था के तहत एक फ्लैग मीटिंग की और इस घटना पर चर्चा की। चीनी पक्ष को इस तरह के एक्शन के लिए मना किया गया और सीमा पर शांति बनाए रखने के लिए कहा गया। इस मुद्दे को चीनी पक्ष के साथ कूटनीतिक स्तर पर भी उठाया गया है। अध्यक्ष महोदय, मैं इस सदन को आश्वस्त करना चाहता हूं कि हमारी सेनाएं हमारी भौमिक अखंडता को सुरक्षित रखने के लिए पूरी तरह से प्रतिबद्ध हैं और इसके खिलाफ किसी भी प्रयास को रोकने के लिए सदैव तत्पर है हमारी भारत की सेना। और मुझे विश्वास है कि यह सदन हमारी सेनाओं की वीरता और साहस को एक स्वर से समर्थन देगा। और अध्यक्ष महोदय, मैं पूरी तरह से आश्वस्त हूं कि यह संसद बिना किसी संशय के भारत की सेना की क्षमता, शौर्य, पराक्रम व प्रतिबद्धता का भी अभिनंदन करेगा। धन्यवाद अध्यक्ष महोदय।
कोई माननीय, आप वरिष्ठ सदस्य हैं, सदन नियमों प्रक्रियाओं से चलता है और नियम प्रक्रिया के अंदर कोई भी स्पष्टीकरण का सदन में, लोकसभा में नियम प्रक्रिया नहीं है। आपका कोई रिकॉर्ड में नहीं जा रहा। आप एक चीज रिकॉर्ड में लो। एक मिनट मेरी बात सुनो। एक मिनट बालू जी, प्लीज। अधीर रंजन जी, एक मिनट प्लीज। बालू जी, प्लीज सिट डाउन। हाँ प्लीज, मैं प्लीज एक मिनट। अधीर रंजन जी, एक मिनट। अधीर रंजन जी, एक मिनट। मिस्टर सुरेश, प्लीज सिट डाउन। मैं सदन को ये निवेदन करना चाहता हूं।
Okay, so that was the statement coming in from the defense minister in the parliament explaining what happened on December 9th, because remember there were reports suggesting that there was some skirmishes that happened around the Arunachal Pradesh border. The minister there clarifying that the Indian soldiers stopped the retaliation in the wake itself and they did not allow the Chinese troop to enter the Indian area. So that's the latest coming in. None of the Indian troops were hurt in this entire incident as well, and that's the word coming in, that Indian troops stopped Chinese forces from entering Indian territory on December 9th. The minister also pointed out that various channels are being used. There were talks also that were done, plus there were back channels also that were used to bring down the escalation as well, and that seemed to have worked out for now. And that's the latest word coming in from the defense minister, saying that the Chinese troops did not enter the Indian territory and nobody was harmed in the entire incident. Shifting focus back to the markets then, if you look at the Nifty, it's sitting at the highest point of the trading session or very close to that with a gain of around 0.5%. A lot of internals are also looking interesting in terms of the stock movement. You have the likes of UCO Bank, Punjab Sind Bank, Hudco, Indian Bank, Yes Bank. They're all excited again. So the banking names again doing the heavy lifting. And on the losing side, it's GHCL, which is interestingly down 6%. Macrotech Developers is also sitting with a cut of around 3%. Pankaj, yesterday we had seen that acquisition news come by for Dalmia Bharat. The stock was up 4%. Today it's given up most of its gain now.
Absolutely, it just came in the last 10 minutes of trading session, so maybe, markets were trying to gauge in, and, one can say that, probably as soon, the management comes out, talks about it, but eventually people are saying that they have to wait and watch for a lot of things, and maybe that's why it's down about 2.5%. Let's go to Aditya Agarwal, our first guest on the show. Aditya, let's start with the markets first. 3 or 4 days of absolute range-bound movement. Still, we are in that 18,400 to 18,600 band. What's the sense that you get?
Good afternoon, Pankaj, and thanks for having me on the show. Clearly, markets are in a range, and the recent correction actually halted at 61.8% Fibonacci retracement level. So I won't read too much into the recent correction. In fact, on the flip side, it was a good opportunity to initiate long positions on the index. On the upside, index can test levels of 18,660 to about 18,750. And as you mentioned out, it's still locked in that range, 18,800 on the upside and 18,400 on the downside. My sense is the entire month of December could remain range bound. And as we approach the festive season, volumes dip and the range diminishes even further. We have seen it over the years. So markets will remain range bound. Maybe 18,400 on the downside is a strong support. For the day, I believe markets can test 18,660 to about 18,700 on the upside.
Okay, and Aditya, let's get stock specific. Tell us your recommendations at the top of this hour.
So I've got a couple of buy recommendations, Anisha. Bharat Forge is something which is looking very attractive on charts. Yesterday, in fact, stock did manage to pull back from the lows, and today it's breaking out of the narrow consolidation phase. So on the upside, stock can test levels of 905 with a stop loss at 865. Traders can definitely look at going long on Bharat Forge. The second stock recommendation is from the cement pack. That is something which has continuously been outperforming. And Ultratech Cement is something which is now catching up with the likes of Ambuja and ACC and Indian Cement. So Ambuja is something which I would prefer in the cement space. Look for a target of 75.50 on the upside with a stop loss at 7,050 on the downside.
All right, Aditya, thanks so much for that. Earlier in the day, we also did speak to Manish Santholia, Director and CIO, Head Equities PMS, Motilal Oswal Asset Management Company, who believes that BFSI, IT, consumer and industrials will drive growth. Let's listen in.
Equal weight is not slightly overweight on IT as a whole, even though we have seen higher levels on IT stock and there has been some valuation correction. BFSI is right up there because we think that BFSI as a pack will lead from the front, whether it comes to NII growth, whether it comes to operating leverage playing out through cost advantage, whether you have clean balance sheets of banks leading to lower provisions, and all of this culminating into decent profit growth, both for the PSU banks as well as the private sector banks. So there's no question about banks per se as you move into FY23 and 24 as a whole. The economy is really firing on all cylinders and balance sheets have got cleaned up. That is rubbing off, on numbers of banks. When it comes to IT, I would clearly believe that margins have bottomed out. There could be some volume slowdown as you move into FY23 and compare that FY22. But valuations also have come off. So I think anywhere between 1.5 PEG on IT as a whole would mean there is a case for decent investments in IT stocks because the journey is not yet over. It's a five-year story going forward. And, there's a lot of top line that's likely to come in many of the recent IP dates that we have. So that's the reason why we are equal weight, if not slightly overweight on IT as a whole. And as I think we move into the second half of fiscal 23, you should see again IT back.
That's the word coming in from Manish Santholia. But on that note, we're slipping into a very short break. Don't go anywhere. Lots lined up when we come back.
Is one of my favorites in the world. I'm a fan.
This is a very insightful question that you're asking, Nikunj, and almost seems like you were listening in on the deliberation the committee was doing. And you're absolutely right.
But if this cup of coffee is costing you 25 rupees right now, after 5 years, it may cost you 100 rupees. Predicting the market or predicting the short-term move in the market, well, that's always very easy. Predicting it right and making money, it's not impossible. It could be a challenge. With each passing day, this market is becoming better, and with each passing day, this market is only telling you that if you've participated on every decline, you've actually made money.
ITC's credo is nation first, sab saath bade. I would like to live this philosophy in whatever business we do.
We continue to be very well diversified across product lines. The general health of the company continues to be very strong.
We are a publicly listed company. We have access to capital. We have great brands.
No, beautiful question. Yeah, I can tell you, we believe that we'll be able to reduce costs.
ET is one of my favorites in the world. I'm a fan. I'm a fan.
This is a very insightful question that you're asking, Nikunj, and almost seems like you were listening in on the deliberation the committee was doing. And you're absolutely right.
And if this cup of coffee is costing you 25 rupees right now, after 5 years, it may cost you 100 rupees. Predicting the market or predicting the short-term move in the market, well, that's always very easy. Predicting it right and making money, it's not impossible. It could be a challenge. With each passing day, this market is becoming better, and with each passing day, this market is only telling you that if you've participated on every decline, you've actually made money.
ITC's credo is nation first, sab saath bade. I would like to live this philosophy in whatever business we do.
We continue to be very well diversified across product lines. The general health of the company continues to be very strong.
We are a publicly listed company. We have access to capital. We have great brands.
No,
Welcome back. Well, for the market, there is a bit of a pickup as far as the broader markets are concerned. Nifty as well is sitting comfortably above that 18,580 mark. So let's get the discussion going with another technical guest on the show, Ms. Sarita Pansari, the research and technical analyst at Kantilal Chaganlal Securities, joins us now. Hi, good afternoon. Thank you so much for making time and speaking with us, Sarita. First up, tell us your view as far as Nifty is concerned. What are the levels to watch out for?
Good afternoon. For Nifty, my levels are to watch out for is 18,650. 18,650 at present is the resistance level because and 18,350 will be a good support. If yesterday's opening we see, yesterday was a gap down opening. The gap down was below Friday's low, but it managed to close again above Friday's closing. And especially the last 15-minute candle was very good. And that's why, but now 650 is a major hurdle. So we have to check out that at present the PCR ratio is supporting. Friday it was 0.50, yesterday it was 0.70, and today it's 85. So that is supporting. So my, you can say 650 is the resistance level for me. Once it crosses that, then we can see 750 to 800 levels.
After 650, you would look at it. Bank Nifty has been the most talking point as well, Sarita. Can you talk to us about that? It was about PSUs till last week. Some select private names are also picking up this week. What's your view on Bank Nifty at this point of time?
Bank Nifty, my view is bullish, still bullish it is. Only the case is today, Fin Nifty expiry is there. So last, we can see in second half, there can be a volatility due to Fin Nifty expiry. And now it is, now my targets for, if I talk for today I don't think so it can go above 44,000 or at the most 44,200. And downside it is 43,500. So if it goes to 43,500, there I think it's a buying opportunity. And 44,000 to 44,200, there we can sell.
Let's talk about your top ideas as well. Which are 2 or 3 top ideas that you would suggest whether buy or sell at this point of time with targets and stop losses?
Okay. One, I'll go for Axis Bank. Axis Bank, I am monitoring it past 2 to 3 days. And yesterday also I was watching it. It was at 9:38. My expectation was because the charts were very good at that point of time, they were very strong, and they were showing that a breakout can come above 9:45. But only the thing was yesterday I was not getting the volume, so I was waiting for volume. Yesterday's high was 9:41, and just because of volume, it was not going up. But today I was expecting, and today we got the breakout. So now my top picks will be, one is Axis Bank. Just hold on. For Axis Bank, my targets will be 960 and 980 with a stop loss of 935.
Okay, Sarita, we let you go on that note. Really appreciate you joining us on the show today. Moving on then, let's talk about Paytm, because that's likely to consider proposal of buyback today. We know that there is 9,000 crore worth of cash and cash equivalent on the book, but the company cannot use the entire sum. The expectation is that they can use somewhere between 3,000 to 3,500 crore rupees. So Amit is joining us with the details on that.
If you see on the range side, they have a cash of close to 9,182 crore rupees, but they cannot use the entire amount of cash, because only 3,600 is something that they can use, and the remaining amount they cannot use is because they had raised that amount from the IPO and they are earmarked only for their expansion plans. Now, given their net worth of 13,564 crore rupees, a maximum buyback when it comes to tender route is close to 3,391, and if they are following an open market buyback, then the maximum amount they can buy back is close to 2,035 crore rupees. Now, if they want to avoid a special resolution, which means that they'll have to do a buyback of less than 10% of the net worth, so that comes at close to 1,356 crore rupees. Now, the key thing to watch out for from this buyback would be firstly whether it's from tender route or from open market route. The second would be at what price is the company willing to buy back their shares. So that will be the most crucial data that an investor needs to watch out for. But this buyback also indicates that the company's cash requirement has come down, and this was clearly visible in the second quarter results also, because the company's adjusted EBITDA loss was lower at around 167 crore as against 274 crore rupees reported by the company in the previous quarter. So do keep an eye out for what the management commentary is and what the buyback price is.
For that, so stock holding up with a gain of around 2%. Shifting focus to the IT sector, it's actually managing to hold in the green today, but that's after consecutive declines that we have seen over the last 7 to 8 trading sessions. Today, Citi has written a fresh note on the sector, and it's more of the same actually. They're a bit cautious when it comes to the entire Indian IT space, and that is because they believe that there are a lot of macro challenges, plus growth is something which is going to be a problem going forward. As far as valuation is concerned, they do agree that of course there has been quite a bit of correction this year, but the multiples still remain quite elevated when you compare it to the long-term averages. However, what will provide a support to the IT stock prices is the fact that the capital allocation of the large cap IT companies has improved considerably. So that means at least the downside is protected, but JP Morgan believes that, Citi believes that the upside is also a tad bit capped because the fundamentals haven't improved that much. Overall, they have a cautious stance, and emphasis remains a top buy.
Let's go now across to an ET Now exclusive. We talk about Tata Motors. The board yesterday has approved an in-principle nod for its subsidiary Tata Technology IPO. My colleague Anurag, who got the story in November for our viewers on a source-based story, finally gets it right on Tata Motors. Anurag, congratulations. Good story. You broke it about 20 days back. What has come now, what we had reported, and what, more importantly, what to watch out for Tata Motors?
Yeah, so ET Now had broken the story about the plan of Tata Technologies IPO on November 16. After market hours yesterday, Tata Motors, in a filing to the stock exchange, announced that it has given its one of the board panels, which is the IPO committee of the board, has given an in-principle approval for Tata Technologies IPO. Tata Motors is the biggest shareholder in Tata Technologies with an about 74% stake, and other Tata entities and Singapore-based fund Alpha TC Holdings hold the balance shareholding in Tata Technologies. ET Now had broken the story in November, and we had reported that the likely schedule for Tata Technologies IPO plan would be the company filing potentially filing a red herring prospectus with SEBI in the next quarter and looking to unveil the IPO in the first quarter of the next financial year. Now, the IPO plan also comes at a time when there's another Tata company, Tata Play, which has filed confidentially its offer document with SEBI and the stock exchanges. If the Tata Technologies IPO goes through according to the plan, then this would be the first IPO from a Tata Group company since 2004 when TCS listed its shares.
Anurag, for that, I appreciate you joining us. In fact, on a similar note, we spoke with Mitul Shah, the head of research at Reliance Securities, to understand what the development would really mean for the listed companies so far. Listen in.
Certainly, we believe that it would be around